Go.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Blue Ridge event number 2. This is going to be a digital guided course walk. First time we've ever done this, but strange times, we're going to do what we can. Now, you may notice I'm not wearing a mask. You should be. I'm doing this for clarity, and I'm staying 10 feet away from Zach. Hi, Zach. Thank you for staying 10 feet away from me. You should be wearing a mask if you're watching this. Now, the way we're going to do this, or the hope, is that you watch this while you're walking the course. So if you are not at the start line right now, hit pause, and then start it back up again when you're at the start line. So I'll wait just a second, and now I'm back. You've hit pause and you're at the starting line. Okay, for those of you guys that are new, here's the way the staging lights work. When the car in front of you goes, you're gonna pull forward until you see a red light there. As you break this beam here, you're gonna see a red light. Good. Now you're staged, you're ready to go, and you're waiting for the green light. When Henry's ready, usually about 30 seconds after the last car launches, he'll turn on the green light and you're ready to go. Now, I'll just give you some advice. This is the way I launch. Doesn't have to be the way you launch. I use the emergency brake. That way, whether I'm on level ground like this or I'm on a sloped lot and we've got a sloped starting line, I use the emergency brake. When the light turns green, I get my revs where I want them, and then simultaneously with the car in gear.
Attention in the paddock, the course is approved by the solo safety steward. You're welcome to start walking. Cones do need to be marked. If you can help out with marking those cones, we would greatly appreciate it. If there's apparatus in the trailer that you can mark them with, we will hand it to you.
All right, so I launched. I've got the brake up. I've got the car in gear. I've got the revs where I want them.
We also need somebody that can walk straight, Ray says. So.
And then I dropped the clutch. All right. All right, let's go. So anyway, that's my technique. Your technique may vary. So we're gonna actually line up a little bit to the left here because we're starting straight into a slalom. So we're gonna launch as quickly as we can, get going when that light turns green. Again, when the light turns green, that's your time to go, but your clock doesn't start until you cross the beam. All right, so really important to backside this first cone in the slalom. So what I mean by that is come across it with your turning basically done. If you're gonna hit this cone, hit it with your right rear tire because you came across it, and that's gonna set you up for the rest of the slalom. All right, and I'm thinking my shift from first to second gear is gonna be after this cone, but before I get to the next cone.
Put our nice 2020 sticker on. Thank you.
All right, so again, if we backsided that cone, we got most of our turning done early. We're gonna backside this cone as well. And now we're getting to the exit of the slalom, or we're already thinking about the exit of the slalom. So you should be able to get back on full throttle early here and carry lots of speeds. Because we backsided those first 2 cones, we probably don't need to be worried about backsiding this cone as much. And we're just gonna drive straight past this cone. It's just not an issue because we're gonna set up this pivot cone back there. All right, now thinking about how to set up a pivot cone, I work through the course backwards. So a sharp turn like this, I'm thinking about where I wanna be on the exit. So right now, take a look over here and see that we wanna be on the outside of that cone with the 2 pointers right there. So what that tells us is we can get a lot of turning done late in this pivot cone. Normally, I would tell you, you want about 3/4 of your turning done before or as you come across the pivot cone. But in this case, because we want to be wide on the exit, then I'm going to tell you you need only about half or not even half of your turning done when you cross that pivot cone. So still go ahead and set your car up all the way at the outside of this wall, turn in right before you get to the wall, but carry speed past that cone. So again, we probably want somewhere between 1/3 and 1/2 of our turning done when we cross this pivot cone, so it's a little bit unusual. And pretty much our line is dictated by the fact that that cone is so close to this cone here. So there's really not very much guesswork in this particular corner. But we'll see at the next pivot cone, we got a lot more latitude to choose our line. Okay, so we're turning in at the first cone on the wall, coming across here with about half of our turning done. And now as soon as we can, we're gonna get back on full throttle. But notice that if we get on too much throttle too early, that's gonna push us wide out here, which just helps us set up for the next cone. Now this is just a wiggle. We took up a cone, Ray took up a cone at the very end there, so this is just gonna be a wiggle here through these cones, and hopefully we are on full throttle as soon as we're set up here and can carry a lot of speed into the next corner. All right, so as we get to here and we look down at the pivot cone, again, it's the same story. We want to think about how we want to be exiting this corner, and that's going to dictate our line coming in. And the two schools of thought would be, you know, drive a shorter distance, so almost drive straight to that cone if you can. The other school of thought would be to open it up wide, so get to the left early and then come across and carry more speed. And honestly, I'm kind of favoring more of that. Again, we want to be out wide on the exit, so I'm going to be thinking about setting that thing up and carrying a little bit more speed out of the exit by setting it up more. So if you're looking for a reference, I would say drive toward the stairs over there if you can see at the pavilion. Don't drive all the way to the stairs, drive toward the stairs. Zach, what's the weather report for today?
Clear, nice, 88 degrees.
Nice, okay. Stay hydrated, everybody.
Yep, sure enough.
But it shouldn't be too bad. And of course, we got the pavilion with all the shade, so use that as well. Okay, so just remember to brake hard. Use all of your brakes in here. And this is a really good corner to help you think about trail braking, okay? This is going to be an opportunity for you to get some speed up and then trail brake. And so if you don't know what trail braking is, it means as you're easing off the brakes, you're already turning